Hey, what's up everybody? This is gonna be a pretty laggy video, pretty glitchy video. Sorry about that, just that only way I can film it, and I want to get it up while it's still somewhat relevant. It would have been best to make this video a couple days ago, and I had intended to, but I didn't do it. So, just get right into it, man. So I don't really talk about politics on this channel at all. Never have, really. I've made a couple of comments here and there, but I've never actually talked about politics. But today, we're going to talk about politics. I have not, as I just said, I don't talk about politics, so I haven't really made my political views known, and I probably won't make them known, unless you can pick them up yourself from what I say. Because I don't want to put myself on one side as something particularly. I would prefer not to give myself a label of anything. So, talking about the election, of course, which is why it would have been best to make this video a couple days ago, right? Because we're still in the middle of the election right now. Most elections in the past, have been decided in the morning, the next day. Not this one, obviously. And gotta go back to 2016. I talked a little bit about politics in 2016, right? Like pretty much everybody else, I thought Hillary was gonna win. Like most people anyway. I thought Hillary was gonna win. And that was wrong. And whenever that happened, I personally was optimistic. I was hopeful for a Trump presidency. I thought that, I agree with some of the stuff that he was saying in 2016 when he was running. I was agreeing with some of it. I thought he could stop the Twitter bullshit, stop all that, be presidential, and maybe there would be some positives to a Trump presidency. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was telling people in early 2017, January 2017, during all of that. Which can bring us to a video that I may make, but whatever. And now we're getting another stuff. But I was hopeful for Trump. But he did not stop his Twitter. He did not stop any of it. And this is where Trump is problematic. Very much so. I think even people that love his policies, are hardcore supporters, most of them I think agree that his policy is his Twitter, his public image that he has created for himself is not very helpful. It's not very healthy for his presidency, especially the Twitter. If he does something great, he'll do something great, and then he'll go on Twitter and undermine it immediately afterwards. Like he is his own worst enemy sometimes with this shit. And that's something that he's not going to change that. There's no way. In his second term, he's just going to keep acting the same way. But I think most people realize that's a big problem with Trump. On policy, I am not somebody, and people might hate me for this, people might hate me for saying this, so putting it out there, I am not somebody who attacks everything that Trump does just because it's Trump doing it, right? I think Trump is a deeply flawed character. Doesn't mean he can't do good things, like the peace deals in the Middle East recently. I can't believe the media hasn't covered this. It's been many, many years since the Middle East has seen this kind of progress. Especially progress that was forwarded by the U.S. or any foreign power for that matter. Israel, I think, needs to survive. I think it has to survive. I think it becomes self-evident what will happen to what is now Israel. So for that reason alone, there are a lot of anti-Semites, and I am surprised by how easily they get away with what they do. But anyway, it's a whole separate topic. So I think that's I think it's pretty damn good, honestly. He hasn't got us in any more wars. I think that's a good thing. Withdrawing from Syria, some Kurds got killed. Yes, we know that. The Turks are fuckers, man. In terms of their government, that is. and the way that they're acting about these things. In Hagia Sophia, separate topic, but that's a horrible idea, and I really, really wish that more action would have been taken when that happened. I may make a video about that. But that's a separate thing. But Trump's policies, there are some things that I agree with, some things I don't. I'm pretty mixed. I'm about in the middle. There, like I say, there's about maybe half things that I have liked and then half things that I have disliked. I think there are some critical errors, like, God, for some reason I can't remember the acronym for it, but it was one of the INF. That was the one that he repealed. It was Reagan and Gorbachev that signed that originally. He just outright repealed it. Now there are the critics that say that the reason that it should be repealed is because China wasn't involved. That's all well and good, but the treaty is still useful. Make one with China. Repealing that does jack shit. Doesn't make a damn difference. It's not like you're gonna make a third one with Russia in there as well. That one was a failure. That was a failure. Even Gorbachev came out and said that was a failure. So yeah. So I say there are some things. There's definitely like the photo op stuff, man. His public image was trash, as far as I see it. So Trump, I can't say I necessarily endorsed him this election, and I'm not endorsing him. I'm not endorsing either candidate. Biden, I like the sound of his ticket. I like his message, which is that America needs to be united. It does. I believe, again, people hate me for it, for saying that I think that America is a good country. It's the reason why our government survived since basically since the 1780s. Our current government. In 1780, the Holy Roman Empire was still a thing. It didn't have much power, but it was still a thing. The Kingdom of France was still a thing. I mean, we survived a lot of shit. Everybody else fell. Everybody else fell. Except for maybe the UK, but they didn't have such a smooth history, now did they? And not to say we've really had smooth history, but our institutions are pretty much the same. And I get into racism issue. Of course there's racist people. Of course, there always will be. This is the problem. There's always going to be racist people. There's always going to be people that use race as a way to divide people. And I think that is what's happening. But I don't believe that America as it is not irreversibly destroyed by racism or corrupted by racism. I think that it's a fixable problem. I think that we don't need to undo everything that we've done in America to fix it. I don't. People may hate me for that. Of course, black lives do matter. And they should be protected just like any other minority. All minorities, man. Cuban Americans, all Latinos, all of them. All minorities need to be protected. But Biden's ticket, I like. I like the sound of that. Unity, dignity, having a competent America. I think that we need to have a competent America all around. We need to have a robust economy. And that's where I worry with Biden. I am not a socialist. I'm not a fan of socialism, particularly. I see elements that are good in socialism. I see elements that are not good. I definitely do not think communism is a good idea. I think that communism is just utterly terrible in every form that it has ever existed in. It fails every time. It has failed every time. How many people were killed under Stalin alone? How many people are killed under Mao alone? Cambodian killing fields, etc. Read the Gulag Archipelago. Please read that book. Anyway. But I see the squad, whatever you want to call them. People like that, I see Biden as more likely to cave to the more far left elements of his party than to support Republicans. He's saying that he will cross the aisle. If he does, then I will support it the whole way through. That's what we need. I think his vice presidential pick should have been Mitt Romney. I really do. There were rumors about that. It should have been him. A Republican on the ticket. That would have won. I am sure of it. Give it to somebody. And Mitt Romney is class. He is. So I think he should have been it. But yeah, that's a whole separate issue. But I just don't trust Biden not to give in to, I guess, subversive elements to his moderate Democratic Party. He said at one point, I don't know when this was, he said that he is the Democratic Party. I don't believe this is true at all. I don't. If he wants to be a moderate, then I will support that the whole way through. Definitely. There's definitely a place. There is a place for moderates. Of course there is. We need the moderation right now. We need people that'll mend the problems of both sides. But I have a hard time believing that it will be possible. So I cannot come out and openly endorse Biden's ticket. Who do I think is going to win, though? Hard to say. It's Pennsylvania, the state that I'm in. I didn't vote. I can't vote yet. I probably would have made my mind up and decided and voted this year if I could have. But I had no ability to do so. I see Pennsylvania is what matters. Georgia, I've heard, is also actually fairly close. And then you have Nevada, North Carolina. I'm pretty sure that's where it is right now. As of November 5th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I think it could go either way. If shutdown and all this crazy shit that happened this year, that I won't say by name because I know there's some stuff with YouTube. You guys know what the fuck's been going on. Everybody's all apart. You guys know what I'm talking about. If that had not happened, Trump would have won re-election by a landslide. The great economy would have persisted. I am nearly sure of it. And on that alone, he would have been re-elected perfect. But that happened, and that really has changed things. And so I think either one can win right now. Right now I'm leaning towards Biden, but we have to wait to see. There's the lawsuit stuff. I don't think that the lawsuits really have much ground in terms of suing for the mail-in ballots. They've been cast, so hell yeah, there's potential for fraud there. But there's potential for fraud everywhere. I don't want us to do this mail-in ballot thing regularly after this year, though. Because I hope that in 4 years it's not a requirement. It shouldn't be, damn it. I could make a whole video about that. But it should not be a problem in 4 years. So hopefully next election we'll all vote in person. We won't have to deal with all this bullshit because it's making it a mess. It is a fucking mess. I think most people agree this is more than what we really need to. Perhaps it was necessary this year, but hopefully in the future we don't need to do this again. We don't. Outright we don't. Of course there's going to be some mail-in, obviously, absentee ballots, things, whatever. But right now, I'm leaning Biden. I think he's going to win it. But it will be a close one. There's going to be no landslide victory this year. You're not going to see that. But, I mean, Trump could win it. He very well could. He very well could. It's just, it might be another day or two before we know. Could be more than that even. Who knows? Just depends on how wild this shit gets. I think that Trump's made some blunders during the campaign, or the actual election here. It's just Trump's personality, man. It gets in the way of everything that he does. So, we'll see. We'll see. Who do I want to win again? I don't have a preference in this election, man. I feel like I lean towards Biden just for the simple reason of I want peace in this damn country. Well, there's plenty of people who don't. But I want a thriving, peaceful America. I want a friendly America. A free America. That's what I want. And I feel like right now things would be calmer with Biden. I can't speak to the long-term stability with Biden and his policies and his succession, whatever happens. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I mean, he's the one who is promising more hope. The question is, will he be able to follow through on it? But with Trump is a very divisive figure. We know. Obviously he is. And it's not going to change at all. It's not going to change at all. So I'm getting pretty tired. But, yeah, that's pretty much. I don't have much more to say. I may have alienated some people because I took a pretty middle-of-the-road stance, I guess, where I really don't think much of it. I'm sort of just in the middle of all of it. Like I say with Trump, I think there's some things that he's done that are good, some things that are horribly bad. His personality is the worst part of it all. Definitely. Biden, I like the sound of his ticket. I just don't know how well he's going to be able to hold his promise. If we're voting based on what's in the ticket, I'd go Biden. But I just cannot say how true it will all be, if it'll be possible for him to do what he wants to do. If he can do what he promises to do. So, like I say, Mitt Romney should have been on the ticket. That just should have been it. But things don't work out that way. But well, in a way, I'm not surprised really. But yeah, it's 8:42. So don't want to make this vid much longer than it has to be. I'm already looking at this. My network's being slow, but whatever. But there you go. That's the political talk video. I may make another one eventually, but I'm a pretty moderate person in U.S. politics. Anyway, we can talk about some stuff that goes on in Europe because I do follow Europe more historically in Europe. But I have some views in Europe that most of it's crap. I think that a lot of what's going on in Europe is not fabulous. It's really not. But it hasn't been fabulous for over 100 years. So there you go. Yeah, if I make it, oh my god. I have a horrible mouth sore. I got this fucking killed. If I do another politics video, it will be on Europe. So there you go. Hope y'all enjoy. I can't continue the video, so hope y'all enjoyed it. Catch you guys later.